Last night, we brought to you the highlights of the Arab Youth Survey, which offers unique insight into the attitudes and aspirations of the region's young people. Arab youth choose the UAE as the top country to live in for the 8th year running. Here to give us more insight is the president of ASDA BCW, Sunil John. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. The UAE was voted as the top country to live in. Why?
We actually tried to get the reasons why Arab youth in these 15 Arab countries across this vast region selected UAE, and consistently over the last 8 years. And the reasons are very, very simple. Plenty of job opportunities, safety and security, and generous salary packages. These were the three top reasons, among many others as well, but these actually stood out. And that's why they chose UAE as a place they'd like to live in, and also the country that their own country should emulate as well.
Now, another thing that came up was the UAE was a good place to raise a family. Tell us about that.
Oh, indeed. That's one of the attributes of UAE that a lot of their young Arabs looked at. And one should understand why they do that vote, which is your question. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty in most of the Arab countries. These are young people who have gone through massive conflict, a lot of issues, and plus among their top concerns is unemployment, as well as growing economic concerns, the cost of living. So when they have lack of opportunity in their own country, they're looking at the UAE as an opportunity to come, to be able to raise a family, for good education systems here, and that's why this is a land of hope for a lot of young Arabs.
It's good to hear that. And in what ways do young Arabs think of the UAE as having a huge influence in the region? In what aspects?
Well, this is more a foreign affairs question, where we asked young Arabs, who are your allies, who are your enemies? And in fact, one particular question which was about ranking all of the countries as allies, and the UAE was actually the first choice. 93% of the 3,300 face-to-face interviews, these young Arabs chose the UAE as the #1 ally, and then followed by Egypt and Saudi Arabia as well. But also, when we asked them who has actually increased in influence over the last 5 years, UAE as well came just behind Saudi Arabia.
You said ally. Ally as in a country that will support their growth?
Exactly. Support their ambitions, their foreign affairs. And in fact, when you look at it historically, Yunus, you will see that 10 years ago, the capitals for foreign affairs was Cairo, Damascus, and Baghdad. And now the mantle of leadership has fallen on the Gulf countries. So Riyadh and Abu Dhabi now is where real leadership and diplomacy happens. So in a way, whether the Gulf likes it or not, the leadership has fallen to them to take over.
Therefore making it a model nation.
Indeed, a model nation. And that's what these results are really talking about. Young Arabs are saying that look at the UAE, look at the leadership of this country, look at the policies they follow, look at their youth focus, and see what they have been able to achieve.
And why can't we learn from them?
Exactly. And also a hopeful sign that it can be done. That even if you live in a tough neighborhood, you can achieve it if you have the right leadership and the right policies. And that's what UAE has shown.
And tell us a little bit about the way you conducted the research. Who or what was your target sample? Women, men, from what regions exactly? Where was your focus?
Absolutely. This is a survey that we started 11 years ago. In 2008. And at that time, there was no data about the region, especially among young Arabs. And as you know, the Middle East is a vast region, but what makes it very, very different is its young demographic. 65% of the population below the age of 30, 200 million Arab youth. You need to be able to understand their hearts and minds if you have any ambition to be able to take the region forward. Since there was lack of data, we did this research, and we have consistently created database for the last 11 years, so you can track how things change. So we go out into 15 different Arab countries. We do face-to-face interviews, not online, because face-to-face is reliable. We do 3,300 face-to-face interviews, age group of young people 18 to 24, 50% male, 50% female. And we only talk to nationals. So when we do the study in the UAE, we only talk to UAE nationals.
So nationals of each country.
Nationals of each country. So in UAE, we talk to 40% in Abu Dhabi, 40% in Dubai, and 20% in Sharjah to give you a national sample. Sure. So that's what we do. And it is done by our sister company, an international research firm called PSB, which is based out of New York.
It's great having you. Thank you for this survey and wish you all the best in the upcoming surveys. President of ASDA BCW, Sunil John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Yunus.